Ladies and gentlemen, we're finally here. We finally got the name, the logo, the jersey of the Utah Hockey Club. That's no more. Utah Hockey Club is gone, okay? Today is finally the day they made the announcement on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere. It was a kind of a big deal, but we already kind of knew about it because the team actually leaked their name on YouTube, this same platform that I'm, releasing this video on. They changed the channel name to @Utah Mammoth before they actually announced the team name officially anywhere. So they did make a little bit of a mistake, but today, a couple days later, 4 or 5 days later, whatever it was, we got the official news. They are called the Utah Mammoth. So in this video, I'm going to go through every single bit of imagery that they released, some of what they said as well. But let's jump into the actual imagery that they provided with the specific fonts, the colors, the logos, the jerseys, all the good stuff. Let's bring it up and we'll go in order essentially as they released it. So here is the text and name of the team. I will have to say I really like the text. I think that's very cool. And there's one small little detail that I like about it. The font itself is italicized just a little bit, but within the letters, specifically the A and the H, that line, see how it goes from letter to letter? That path from the middle section of the A to the middle section of the H follows that same plane. Brilliant, love that. It takes the shape of a mountain ridge almost. So I really like that. The font itself is also quite rigid. Typically, when you have like a really rigid font with a lot of angles and stuff, I don't really like some angularity in other aspects of the font. This is one of the only times that I've seen it where I felt like it's really, really worked. So kudos to the design team for this font. I'm a big fan of this actually. I will talk maybe colors maybe towards the jerseys in a little bit later. But in a quick opinion, not bad. But I was hoping for a little minor tweak. Let's read what they have down below. Our new custom type is frosty and strong in regular and italic. It features angled crossbars on A and H as a nod to the inaugural season lettering, continuing to evoke the elevation of mountain hockey and our unrelenting pursuit of excellence. Let's move on to the actual logo. So first impressions was, well, we kind of already saw this before because they did that little teaser, that little sampler in the arena where everyone got a chance to kind of vote. So I don't remember how close this was, but I know it was very similar. And I have to say immediately that I really like it. It is a bit NHL EA Sports video game logo. Like this looks like a bit of a generic logo, but I still like it. Like it's very, very nice. It has a lot of really cool design elements in this, and you'll realize that as we read through these if you have not already. So down at the bottom it says, our mountain mammoth takes inspiration from the massive mammoths that once populated Utah. We reveal the animal's fierceness and overwhelming momentum when charging, capturing it in motion, tusks up, ready to attack. We'll talk a little bit more about the tusks up part here in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if I was going to rate this logo, if EA games didn't exist, it would probably get like a 9.5 out of 10. Like that's how good it is. But it does have that aspect to it. So I'll give it like a 9. It's still a pretty good score. I do really like it for sure. Now, one really cool thing that they did was they split the logo out into sections in these next couple of images and talked about the specific elements within the logo. Great presentation by the team. And this one specifically, they've highlighted kind of the mountain area in the lighter blue and then the white. And they say, Utah Mammoth was born in the Wasatch. Our mammoth was carved from our mountains and features snow-capped peaks across its crown. So a really good representation of that mountain range there. That's very cool. On to the next one, where they talk about a little section at the back. The Utah state outline is hidden in our mountains, and our home remains core to our identity. Observe, too, an M in an icy form, a nod to our iconic beast. So that's a really cool little aspect there as well. I have been to Utah 2 times technically, and it is by far one of my favorite states. It's definitely in the top 3, probably top 2. It is such an incredible state from top to bottom, east to west. Like it is, if you've never been to Utah and you want to go on a road trip, please add Utah to your list. It's a very, very interesting and cool and beautiful state. So I love the fact that that little geography nod of the shape is in there as well. On to the next piece. It's just highlighted the tusk area. Mammoth tusks have been found in a variety of shapes and forms, but most often appear to resemble the letter U. We took that as a sign. Tusks up is our rally cry. So let's talk a little bit about tusks up. That's their rallying cry. That's their saying. It's probably the thing I dislike the most about all of this. I'm missing a color. I really thought there'd be an additional color in there. I'm okay with the logo for sure. The name Mammoth is pretty cool. And I don't know why I don't like Tusks Up. I just don't like it. It feels a bit cringy or something. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Tusks Up at all. Let's move on to the next one, where they showcase one of their alternate logos here. The Utah Tusk mark underscores the team's identity and unwavering pride in the state. That includes the word Utah, with the mammoth tusk embedded into the U. I really like that. I think that is a brilliant little addition in there for the U, and the font complements it nicely as well. It almost has a bit of balance because you get that kind of swoop in from the left, but then you have almost the same shape, but not. That doesn't really make sense. Almost the same kind of arc, but not as pronounced on the other side in the A and the H, just as the interior. So it kind of provides some nice balance there. I quite like it. On to the next one, which is just the isolated U with the tusk in there. It says the U tusk mark can stand alone as a bold letter mark. Absolutely. So as we go through, you'll see this on elements of some of their stuff. And I could see this in the front of a jersey, an alternate jersey in the future, on the helmet. So it's really cool as a standalone element. Now this next image, this is the badge, or another alternate logo. The Utah badge is a classic emblem inspired by the Utah stair-step design from the franchise's inaugural season, paying homage to the history of hockey in the state and showcasing the club's commitment to continuing to grow the game. The last half of that's just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo marketing crap. Whatever. Okay, it's a stair-step design. We've seen it 1,000 times. Pittsburgh, Colorado, the Islanders have done it. The Rangers, Vegas has done it. Carolina. Like, this isn't new. So the marketing crap behind why it's a stair-step design or whatever, that does nothing for me. It's an okay logo. I like the shape of the state that's on there. That's pretty cool. I like the hockey aspect of it. But otherwise, it's a relatively generic logo. Now let's move on to all of them. So this is really the profile or showcase, I guess, of all of their assets, which is great. I think, overall, a couple of critical things that I'm thinking about, but overall they did a really good job. And I think they did good with the name as well. They could have made a serious mistake with the name. So I'm glad they went with Mammoth. I still miss Yetis. I still wish it was Yetis, but well, I'll complain about that for the next 10 years. The next slide here, they're talking about colors. This is what really interests me. I love colors. I love talking about colors, color theory, color balance, and all that stuff. So let's dig into this. First color, rock black. The darkness of night in the mountains and the volcanic rock of Utah's deserts. So black is probably one of the most prominent colors used in the NHL, right next to red and blue and stuff. So it's not super surprising that they chose black. I suspected that they would go with black or a charcoal as one of their colors. I'm a little disappointed that they went such like slate black. I really liked Utah's choice, or I really liked Vegas's choice of kind of just brightening up and going with more of a charcoal. I kind of wish that Utah would kind of go that direction, but it's okay. Mountain blue, the next color. Utah's rich winter sports history and its clear skies for more than 230 days a year. I wasn't super surprised that they put a blue in there. This goes back to, the Utah Hockey Club when they were first announced. Blue is a very, obvious color for them to choose. It complements nicely with the black. I didn't think it would be the only color other than black and white, though. I really thought there would be a secondary color, which I'll get to in a second. Now, the final color, salt white. The snow on Utah's peaks in the famous salt flats. Absolutely. So, white's going to be in there. It's going to be in there for basically any team. So, it is what it is. The names of these colors don't mean anything. It's like buying a car. And, I bought a car and it's called Barcelona Red. It's just red. Like, we don't need names of colors. It's fine. I was really hoping for some purple. If you look behind me, there's some beautiful LA Kings jerseys back there. Teams don't utilize purple enough in the NHL and sports in general. This was an opportunity for the brand to inject some of that into the NHL to stand out a little bit, because LA doesn't use those colors anymore. These are specialty jerseys, reverse retro, and Arizona used purple. Well, Arizona doesn't exist anymore because now they're in Utah. So why not use it? It's kind of part of your history in a way. So I'm really disappointed that they didn't use purple, but probably more so because of the affiliation with the Utah Jazz, who has used purple and it's part of their branding. And they have the same owners, if I'm not mistaken. So why there is no variation of purple, whether it's deep or light, completely shocks me. I would have bet probably $500, 2.5 whatever years ago, that this team, when it made the announcement that it was moving to Utah, would have some kind of purple in its branding, and it doesn't. And maybe they'll make an alternate in the future that has some purple, but I'm really really surprised that there's no purple in here. And I know that probably 70% of you don't care about that, and you don't care about the colors, but deep opinion, okay? Deep opinion. Let's move on to the jerseys, and let's kind of dissect these a little bit. So it's great that they're moving away from the Utah text on the front of the jersey. We'll discuss that more in a second. But on the home jersey, they've gone with the primary logo on there, which is a really good decision. It looks beautiful. It stands out so nicely on the front of the jersey. And they got the nice shoulder patch on there as well. I think that's the perfect design for a shoulder patch. Individually, it's okay, like I said earlier. But as a shoulder patch, perfect design. I think it's going to look great on there. And then the striping pretty much remains the same as before. They've got a couple of things noted down below, so I'll read that. Striping system remains, new mountain mammoth cresting, Utah badge on shoulders, updated custom number font. Yeah, so the actual font on the jersey changed to match kind of their font on the front of the jersey, the away jersey. U on the pants. Remember when I said that standalone U element logo? You'd see that on some other stuff. Well, check out the front of the pants. That is on there, and it looks very good. And then established 2024 inside the collar on the back, so that's pretty cool. Let's move on to some actual images of the jersey. You can see the logo here, and it looks very nice. I think, this is going to be a very sought-after jersey. A lot of people are going to want to get this one, and I include myself into that group. I would love to have this very soon as it's available, actually. And then next, you can see the shoulder patch up close. I think that's, again, the perfect shoulder patch, so a really good job there. And then the number kit. So the number kit looks quite similar. It's more so the font that kind of changed, but it's the good choice, or it's the best choice, rather, on black. White really is going to contrast the best, and then you put in that really beautiful blue as that kind of stroke color. So a really good decision there. And then moving on to the away jersey, here's where I see a bit of a falter. This gives me a bit of Carolina Hurricanes identity crisis, essentially. So right now the Carolina Hurricanes use a different jersey design completely than they do on their away version, which is fine, but it's just there's no brand consistency there between home and away. So I'm a little disappointed that we get that same aspect here. I feel like there's a little bit of an identity crisis between the home and the away. With that said, I think they do a better job than Carolina with the home and away. There is, the striping is basically identical. But the cool thing is that they take the primary logo and make it a shoulder patch. I really like that. So at least that little aspect is on there. Honestly, I would really like to see this become an alternate jersey. If you want to keep it as the away jersey for a little bit, that's totally fine. But honestly, an alternate would be much better. Put the Mammoth on the away jersey, make it consistent from home and away, make that the alternate, call it a day. And it would also be a little nod back to their inaugural jerseys or original jerseys from their season that just passed. So an alternate, in my opinion, is best. So let's read what's down below. It's pretty much the same as before. Striping system updated. Updated Utah stair step cresting, keeping Utah at the forefront. Now, if you know what the jerseys look like now, it's less italicized font, if I'm not mistaken. It's very generic font. This is italicized. It's got some more character. So this jersey is definitely a nicer, at least in the font section for sure, and the shoulder patch obviously. Mountain Mammoth on shoulders, same as before. Updated custom number fonts discussed. U test on pants discussed. Pop of white in the collar. So they're talking about this section right here at the top. This little piece, this little line. They added some white in there. There is no blue, or there's no white in the current version that they used in this previous season. So they added that little bit of white in there. So that is a change, and I think it's a good change. I really like that decision. And then the last thing they have noted is the same established number inside the collar. So let's move on to some images here of the actual jersey, and that does look good. Like I don't want to hate on it because it's text on the jersey. It's like the colors are very complimentary. They made the choice here. If they had have made the text blue instead of black, I don't think it would have translated well on the jersey. So I'm glad they did go and keep the black. So good there. Just don't love the decision for the kind of yin and yang home and away. And then that shoulder patch looks really good on the white. So that's the cool part of the jersey for me, the away jersey, is that little mammoth up there. So let's move on to the final thing, which is the video, which I've not seen. So okay, well, that was quite an interesting video, actually. I didn't realize it was going to be so cinematic. I felt like I was watching a movie there for a second. A little bit of cringe in there, but still a pretty good marketing video. Told a little bit of a story, and there's a couple things I noticed. They showed a big mammoth. I'm assuming it was in a museum or something, but it almost looked like an arena at the same time. I wonder. I don't know if they could do it. I've never been to the arena. I don't know how big the atrium or the entrance is or whatever. It would be so cool to have an actual, skeleton of a mammoth there. That would be, or a fossil rather, whatever, of a mammoth. That would be so cool to walk in and see that. That would be awesome. So, maybe that's a little bit of a hint for the future. Who knows? Maybe it's a statue out front or something that would be really cool. And the other thing that I noticed, I'll have to skip ahead and try and find it in the video because I want to bring it up and talk about it. Yeah, it happens at about 1 minute and 57 seconds in the video. And it's basically a dubbed down black and white version of their logo, which looks really good, actually. Like if they did some kind of two-tone alternate in the future, and maybe it was just like a black and white jersey, stripped the blue, redid the logo, I think that they could do it and make it look very good. And that's a pretty good example there. That looks awesome. Even if they did a blue jersey in the future, because look at this, look how this looks right now. The background, the ice that it's breaking through is blue, and then you've got the logo, which has no color. It's void of color. It's just got the other colors of the brand, the black and the white. So this could be a bit of a hint to the future. It's probably not. It's just a graphic. But looking at this, that could be a cool alternate. A blue jersey with a black and white version of the logo on the front. I bet that would look very, very good and sell very good as well. So you never know. So those are the two things that I noticed from the video. Overall, pretty good video. Like I said, maybe a couple of little cringe parts, but yeah, pretty good video and good production quality as well. So, I mean, I'm critical of a couple of things, but that's the point. I mean, that's the point. That's kind of the point of the channel. We look at logos and jersey concepts and jerseys that are released and stuff, and we dig into the details and we find what we like and what we don't like. And I definitely don't think that I'm right. Feel free to leave your comments down below in the comment section. Disagree with me all you want. I actually welcome that. That's good conversation, and it's all subjective at the end of the day. So nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I'm just super happy that we get a new brand in the NHL and a good one. They did a really good job overall. It's not perfect, but it's very good and one of the best brands in hockey right now in terms of name, logo, and colors. So that is awesome. I'm really excited for the future, and I would love to get down there to see a game. That would be a lot of fun, and to film that for the channel, some kind of vlog or something, that would be very, very cool. I still need to do that for Seattle. So yeah, very cool. I'm excited. What do you guys think? This is a big day. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Would love to hear from you. Hope you're having a great day. And if you want to join more hockey talk like this and you're new, hit the subscribe button down below, because over 60% of return viewers are not subscribed. So if you're coming back and you're watching multiple videos, it really helps the channel if you subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you very soon. Adios.